What's up guys, it's Weapon of Choice, the Omni Blade here to give you guys a long-awaited video as we are going to be talking about my top 5 sword heroes in this game. There are only 2 requirements for a unit to make it on this list. That is that 1, I must own the hero I am talking about in this list, and 2, that I like them. That is all it takes for a unit to be on this list. One thing I will say going into this video though is that my tastes for sword units are kind of basic. A lot of them just feel very samey to me. And there are some units which are definitely good units, but I don't have on this list just because I haven't had the time to train them really, and I focus on other units just because swords, aside from daggers and healers of course, are probably my least favorite units in the game. So bear that in mind when I talk about these units. Without any further delay though, let's get into this week's top 5. Kicking off this week's top 5, we have such a dominant powerhouse already starting off the list. We have Matthew Mercer's pinnacle contribution to Fire Emblem, the glory of Hoshido himself, Ryoma. Ryoma makes it on this list just because of how damn powerful he is. He has 50 attack and 35 speed at neutral. If you get plus boons in any of them, you are set. He has 41 HP, which is not bad at all. It gives him nice bulk to work with his 27 defense. And his one negative is his res being only 21, but who cares? Ryoma needs a weakness. Res is usually that weakness for OP units. And it's just, with Ryoma, it's glorious. Just minus plus attack, minus res, and I give mine Fury Vantage just because if you have a plus attack Ryoma, Fury Vantage is just the natural way to go. So my Ryoma hits 56 attack, and it's glorious. The only reason Ryoma isn't higher on this list is because I have not had much time to train him up. He ended up crashing my pity rate when I was summoning for Leo, so naturally it took me a while to get around to him just because of the fact that I have more of a bias towards training my green and blue units first. So when I inevitably did get around to Ryoma once I got Sword Valor, it was nice being able to train up such a potent unit. I just don't have that many good swords, at least until recently. And Ryoma was definitely a welcome addition to start making me appreciate sword units more. And that is why he makes it at the number 5 spot for this week's top 5. Unlike our last entry, the entry for the number 4 spot is not a unit that is known for her power, but rather is valued for her utility. She is the beautiful dancer that everyone has fallen in love with, Olivia. Olivia is good just because of the fact that she's the only sword dancer in the game, which is really interesting to think about. Thanks to the Performing Arts banner, we now have more green dancers than we do red dancers in the game, and before that banner, there weren't even green dancers in this game at all, so I find that hilarious. But Olivia is still a valuable unit just because of her free-to-play status, and the fact that she's still a damn good dancer. I mean, her stats, they're not really that good overall. I mean, 36 HP is mad, 28 attack is low, 27 defense is actually on par with Ryoma, and it's kind of funny. She also has 26 res, so if her HP were a bit better, she could definitely take a couple more hits, but it's really her 33 speed that makes her so useful. Dancers are always going to be fast. I can't think of a time where there was a slow dancer in a Fire Emblem game, whether it's Heroes or just any other main series game, but dancers are always good just for the utility. You dance, you trade off their moves, and then you have to pray that they can survive on their own. With Olivia being a red unit, she can take a lot of the mages in this game with her decent res, and a lot of the specifically armor units would come to mind when I think of axe units just because of Hector and Amelia. But still, there's other units like Titania, of course, and then you have powerful units like Brave Ike running amok. Olivia can just take them on herself. I feel that just that niche of being a red dancer is what really helps Olivia stay relevant even after all the new dancers have been added in. It's why I still use her faithfully, it's why a lot of people plus 10 merge her just because you can constantly summon her from redstones, and it's why she deserves the number 4 spot on this week's top 5. We've talked about strong offensive units, we've talked about good support units. I feel this entry is going to be the nice middle ground between the two, as I'm going to be talking about the future witness, Lucina. Now when you look at Lucina, you have to talk about both regular Lucina and Mass Lucina, because the beauty of Mass Lucina is the fact that everyone probably has her for free. You can get her from the original Tempest Trials. They gave a rerun of her as well. It was really nice. I missed her from that first Tempest Trial, but I got her in the rerun, and now she is one of my better units in my arsenal, just because Lucina, I would say you want to build regular Lucina offensively because you can get the boons and banes with her. Mine just happens to be minus HP plus speed, so she is quite literally perfect in my eyes. Fury Desperation, I mean, takes her 43 HP, turns it down a notch, she still has a good amount. She has 50 attack thanks to Falchion just because she has 34 base, it's beautiful. She has 36 speed at neutral, plus speed boon, add fury. Mine has 42 speed and I absolutely adore that. Of course she has low defense, as she's only 25 physical defense and 19 in res, which is kind of low, but Lucina, regular Lucina at least, is just pure glass cannon, and that's how you should use her. But if you don't have the proper IVs to use that, you can always settle for the passive healer. With Falchion's Renewal built into it, you can give her Renewal 2 as well, so she gets even more passive healing. You can also give her Breath of Life so she can heal her allies, slap a Sacred Steel on her, give her Reciprocal Aid, Ardent Sacrifice. I mean, she has 43 HP. That's a decent HP pool you can make use of. And I love it for Tempest Trials. She is a staple for any just autoplay Tempest Trial team, and it makes the game so much better, as you can just leave your phone there, let it run for a bit, get some free resources, just check on it every now and again. It's beautiful, just like Lucina. I think she's a lovely lady, and that is why she earned the number 3 spot in this week's top 5. So in this video we've talked a lot about archetypal roles. Let's slap in another one as we talk about the tank for Horse Emblem teams with Xander. Xander is probably the reason I got into Horse Emblem teams in general, just because he was an easily accessible Red Cavalier unit that was actually good. I mean, until recently, with the additions of units like Daddy Zygarde or Brave Roy, you didn't really have a reliable red unit you can rely on for Horse Emblem. Sure, there was Leo, but the odds of you having him were pretty slim, so you had to rely on Xander, and he was a phenomenal unit. Great HP, great attack, great defense, bad speed, bad res, yes, but you have other units that can cover that, especially with cavalry buffs. I mean, Hone and Fortify Cavalry, slap in a goat or a ward as well. Your Xander is going to tank hits for days, and it's glorious. I just love that potency that Xander has. So much so that I even sacrificed a 5-star Black Knight so I could give him steady stance. It lets him take archers better, right? That's the logic behind it. He takes melee hits better, and he can take archer hits better, okay? Those brave bows that are trying to quad him, nah. He's sitting there tanking them, building up his bonfire, ready to retaliate with his quick repo, okay? It's strategic and tactical. Trust me, please. But still, it just shows how much I love Xander that I was willing to go so far as to do that for him. I just cannot stress how much I love Xander. He made Horse Emblem for me for the longest time, and I'm always grateful to him for that, because Horse Emblem just invested me more into heroes. It made me like the game more. It made me become more creative with other sets. I owe a lot to Xander in this game, and that is why he earns the number 2 spot in this week's top 5. Before I get to the number 1 entry, I feel I have to mention these 2 units in honorable mentions, because a lot of people will probably ask, Omni, why aren't these 2 heroes on your list if you like power so damn much? Well, the honorable mentions go to Ike and Black Knight. The main reasons they aren't on this list is because they are newer additions to the game. I know Ike came out a while back, but I wasn't really focused on him. I was focused more on Soren then. And even still, I only got my Ike recently from a YOLO summon, so I never really had the chance to train up these units. Like I said, sword units are usually on the back burner for me to train, unless there was someone like Olivia, but I never got her. But that's a whole nother story for another day. And just the fact that I haven't had time to train them is why I haven't really bonded with them as much, the same way I have with Xander. So they're powerful units, they're fantastic units, they're godly units in this game. Everyone loves using them, so many people appreciate them, I do too. It's just that I've never gotten really the time to properly invest them, and that's why they deserve at least honorable mention to this list. Without any further delay, people, let's get to the number 1 entry on this list, even though I'm pretty sure it's as obvious as can be. You saw this coming, I saw this coming, everyone saw this coming. The number 1 entry for this list, my favorite sword hero in the game, is obviously Daddy Zygarde. Listen, I've talked about all the archetypal roles in this game, from glass cannon, tank, support. Daddy Zygarde is the amalgamation of all of those into one godly unit. Literally all of his stats are good. Oh, but Omni, he has bad res. No, he doesn't. Crusader's Ward and Divine Tearfing make it so that he doesn't have bad res. He has 17 res. That man feels like he has 30 or something. It is stupid how good he is. His one weakness is like range attacks, in which case, yeah, that's how it should be for a sword unit. He functions properly, thank goodness, with all the distant counter BS running around. Thank goodness there's a regular unit out there with a genuine weakness. I like it when my units are gods, okay? But it's nice knowing that they're not completely invincible. It still forces me to think. That's what I love about this man. He is an omnipotent god, but he still has an Achilles heel. That is what makes me appreciate him so much. He keeps me thinking, keeps me invested in this game, keeps the strategy elements, but gives me some delicious power that I can work with. And that is why Daddy Zygarde is easily the granddaddy of all sword units in Fire Emblem Heroes. At least in my opinion. And that is it for this week's top 5. Let me know who some of your favorite sword heroes are in the comment section down below. As for next week's top 5, I really have no idea what I'm going to be doing. That's really all I have to say. I'm going to have to come up with something out of nowhere. Wow, that was actually a really short outro. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. I'm going to get up out of here. Peace.